All right, man. NFL free agency has opened. We're going to just kind of scroll through some of the deals here and give our thoughts. And I hate to start off on a negative note, but Alec Pierce to the Colts, 4 years, 116 million actually, 60 million guaranteed. To me, this is an overpay. And I'm just being honest. To me, this is an overpay. $29 million a year for Alec Pierce. I know that he had 1,000 yards. I know he had 20 yards per reception. But a guy that's only getting 47 receptions in a single season, to me, just isn't worth close to 30 M's a season. To me, that's an overpay. Now, am I wrong in my train of thought here? Because apparently there was a decent market for him. The 49ers, the Patriots, like there was a decent amount of teams in on Alec Pierce. Now, he is a 25-year-old wide receiver free agent. And if Indy grows his role and he actually has an ability to be an 80, 90 catch guy, then I think that this could be a good deal. But to me, this is just not worth it. I mean, for what we've seen from him production-wise, this feels like an overpay. Am I crazy? Like, let me know in the comment section. Do you think that Alec Pierce was worth this amount of money? Because truthfully, I don't believe so. I believe this was a mistake from the Indianapolis Colts. And they're still making moves. They traded Michael Pittman to free up $24 million in cap space. So I don't want to judge their offseason as a whole yet, but Trey Hendrickson's still on the board. And if I'm a Colts fan, I way sooner would have rathered Trey Hendrickson on the Indianapolis Colts than Alec Pierce. Now, there's maybe a world where you get both, but to be honest, I think I would have rather have kept Michael Pittman, let Alec Pierce walk, and gotten Trey Hendrickson. To me, Michael Pittman's a better receiver. And maybe that's a hot take. It seems like the NFL views it as a hot take. Or are these just teams betting on a 25-year-old wide receiver who had some splash plays? That's the way that I feel about it. For me, when I look at Alec Pierce, I don't see 30 million. I don't. So to me, this felt like a bit of an overpay. Lamonide Zaccheaus signing with the Falcons. That's a fine move. They released Darnell Mooney, so Drake London, Zaccheaus, Kyle Pitts is under contract there. Bijan Robinson. Tua was released this morning. They're rumored to be in on Tua, but with Tua or Penix, I guess that's a solid piece to have. Eric Stokes agrees to a 3-year, $30 million deal to stay with Vegas. They just traded for Teron Johnson, so they have a lot of money to spend, especially after getting off the Max Crosby deal, so I don't expect them to be done. I think they could very well be in on Tyler Linderbaum as well, so something to keep out there watching them. The Patriots are signing Draymond Jones, 3-year, $39.5 million. Smart use of money from New England. They needed edge rusher help. Kind of can be an edge or outside linebacker type. Ken Walker, the reigning Super Bowl MVP, goes to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs were 6-11 this year, missed the playoffs. They weren't going to make it if Mahomes stayed healthy, but they needed a running game. They desperately needed to have a running back. We kind of all knew that was something that they needed this offseason. There's some decent backs available. You talk Javonte Williams, you talk Rico Dowdle, but Ken Walker was easily the number one back in free agency. And Kansas City needed a back. Now, some people had mocked them taking Jeremiah Love at number 9. But ultimately now, I think with this move, it frees Kansas City up to go defense with both of their first-round picks that they have now after trading McDuffie to the Rams. And the Rams took away another one of their cornerstone, Jaelen Watson. So the Chiefs normally don't draft corner in the first round, but they really need help at the position now. They really got to go young at the position. So I think a corner and an edge in the first round for Kansas City is a very likely scenario. What kind of impact can Ken Walker make there? A big one. I think he can absolutely make a massive impact in Kansas City. We saw what he was worth to the Seahawks, not just in the Super Bowl where he won Super Bowl MVP, but in their playoff run. After Charbonnet got hurt, this man was a workhorse. We all have kind of known that when Ken Walker is right, he has top 10 upside at the position in the NFL, an explosive runner, big playability, can be used in the passing game. So I think Ken Walker is a big get for Kansas City. He is making 13 million, 14 million a year, basically, about 30 million guaranteed on the contract. So a solid deal. They definitely needed it. And hey, he's hyped to be there. He said, Chiefs Kingdom, how you doing? Ken Walker. Kate Otten, Back to the Bucks, over the last 2 years, Cade Otton is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers leading reception guy. It's not Mike Evans. It's not, Chris Godwin. It's not Jalen McMillan. It's not Bucky Irving. It's none of those guys. So this was a good get in my estimation. Probably takes him out of drafting Sadiq in the first round. Doesn't mean Mike Evans might leave, and they're kind of shoring up their offensive core around Igbuka, Otton, Jalen McMillan, Tej Johnson, Bucky Irving. Could be. Ken Walker's deal. 3-year, $45 million, base 14.3 per year, 28.7 fully guaranteed. The Rams are signing Jalen Watson per the insiders. This was a big one on a 3-year, $51 million deal. The Rams, their biggest issue last year was undoubtedly 1,000% cornerback. We all kind of knew that, right? And they traded for McDuffie. Excellent deal. Personally, I like McDuffie way more in the nickel. I think he's more valuable in that spot. And maybe the Rams agree, man. With Jalen Watson, you still have Forbes, a Witherspoon. Watson and Witherspoon on the outside, McDuffie in the nickel could be lethal. You got Cam Curl and Kitchens at safety. I'm just saying. I think the Rams secondary just became a strength instead of a weakness. This one broke my heart, man. As a Philadelphia Eagles fan, this one broke my heart. Jaelen Phillips signs a 4-year, $120 million deal with the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers, they're adding to that defense, man. You already got J.C. Horn, you got a Mike Jackson, you got a Derek Brown. Now you got a premier edge rusher in Jaelen Phillips, and this is a big, big get for this team. This team who made the playoffs last year, but at an 8-9 record, you were kind of like, yeah, somebody just had to win the NFC South. I believe the improvement that could be coming for Carolina is real. You get Tedero McMillan in year 2. You still got a first-round draft pick. Do you get another weapon? We'll see what they do at running back, but Bryce Young getting better. Another year in this Dave Canales system. Carolina Panthers are a team to watch now, and they are going to be able to get after your quarterback. And that defensive line is going to be effective with Jaelen Phillips and Derek Brown. There's no doubt in my mind about it. Obviously, Michael Pittman was then traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers, in a corresponding move after signing Alec Pierce. You get Pierce all that money. You got working out a contract with Daniel Jones. Maybe you're going to get a Trey Hendrickson. You got to make some moves. And Alec Pierce, he is their guy. Michael Pittman now to Pittsburgh. They extended him. I believe it was 3 years, $59 million. I think that's a good deal from Pittsburgh. DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman, that's a solid wide receiver room. You got Freiermuth, you got Darnell Washington, you got Calvin Austin, you got Jaylen Warren. Like, there's pieces there in Pittsburgh offensively. A big, big signing. The Miami Dolphins are signing Packers quarterback Malik Willis as the new quarterback for their team. 3 years, $67.5 million with $45 million guaranteed. I think this is a friendly deal. I think this is a really, really smart deal if you're Miami. Listen, if it doesn't work out and Malik Willis isn't the guy, you can kind of cut ties with him before the rebuild's fully done. But if he is the guy, you got him on a really friendly deal, less than $25 million per year. And I liked what I saw out of Malik Willis last year. I think that if anybody was going to be the next Sam Darnold, I thought Malik Willis fit the category, right? Was in a bad situation in Tennessee, sat behind Jordan Love, and every time he came in, man, he balled out, and he is zipping that ball, and he's got real mobility to his game. I think Malik Willis absolutely 1,000,000% deserved a second chance. The Packers, they are since assistant GMs now. The new GM for Miami, Jeff Hafley, former defensive coordinator, is the head coach for Miami. So it's the Miami Packers over there. Maybe they bring in Romeo Dobbs too, and those guys get to play together. Could certainly be something. I could see it potentially playing out that way. But this is a big, big signing for Miami. Him and A-Chain in the backfield should be quite interesting. Bobby Slowick at offensive coordinator is going to have some guys to work with. You have Waddle as well. The Dolphins, I don't feel like they're going to be great next year, but we still got a lot of offseason to go. This, to me, was a worthwhile signing for them. Isaiah Likely, former Ravens tight end, signing with the Giants. He's going with John Harbaugh. He goes from Baltimore to New York. Kind of a surprising move to me. I believe this was a 3-year, $40 million deal. Yeah, 3-year, $40 million with upside of 47.5. To me, this is a fair move. They had Theo Johnson, who I like. I think Daniel Bellinger is serviceable. I thought that they were really going to target another wide receiver, especially with kind of a lot of people believing Wan'Dale Robinson would be leaving. Now, maybe they do that in the draft, but Caleb Downs seems to be a piece that they could be going after. So maybe they're going with a 2 tight end set. You know, they were rumored to be in on Ken Walker. So the Giants are making a lot of moves right now as the new coaching staff comes in. Isaiah Likely, you paying this guy this kind of money, could be north of $15 million a year. He is going to be their tight end one. Their weapons are Malik Neighbors, Isaiah Likely. You have Slayton still. Cam Scatterbo will be back, and Jackson Dart. So should be an interesting offense to watch. It does look like it has some high upside and high vertical speed. The Bears are signing defensive tackle Nevin Gallimore. Okay, kind of a nothing move. The Ravens are signing offensive line John Simpson to a 3-year, $30 million deal. So their offensive line had some pieces. Linderbaum obviously is still a free agent, so they had to bring some guys back. Good for them. Saints are signing John Ridgeway. Okay, I think we hit a refresh here. Yeah. Okay, let's scroll down and get some of these. Austin Hooper back to the Falcons. Demario Davis to the Jets. They just traded for Minkah Fitzpatrick today. So Aaron Glenn bringing in some vets on that defense. I like it. You know, they're not going to, I don't think the Jets are a competitive team next year, but build up some culture in that defensive locker room. Absolutely. The Bucs are signing Kenneth Gainwell. Rashad White's a free agent, so to me, he's probably up out of there. Bucky Irving and Kenny Gainwell. Again, the Bucs are signing skill position guys, but Mike Evans is not there. So, you know, what does that mean? Patriots have agreed to Reggie Gilliam, switching up from Buffalo to New England. Wow, in-division fullback changing. Alex Anzalone, ooh, signing with the Buccaneers. Now, what's interesting about this is Levante David's a free agent. This, to me, tells me Levante David probably not going to be back in Tampa Bay. Mike Evans and David could both be gone at the same time. That would be a real changing of the guard. Just making sure that there's no other news on my phone that I'm missing. Doesn't look like it. Looks like Anzalone's the last piece of news we're going to be able to get to in this video. All right, so that is it for now. If we get any major breaking news today, I'll probably do another one of these recap videos either tonight or have something out for you guys tomorrow morning. But if you want to stay up to date with these NFL free agent signings, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you love the NFL and you're not already subscribed, you should probably hit that button. We're on the road to 1,000 subs. I'll catch you then. Peace.